All right, y'all. I'm back. All right. Sometimes I struggle to find ideas to make content about, but then sometimes people drop the content in my lap, and so I've got some inspiration. you know, um, I want to start out. Before I tell this story, I want to start out by saying that I'm fully aware of the struggles that modern, and I want to stress the word modern black women have in society. Like I understand, I understand, the whole bit of the unique struggles. Like I get all those things. So what I'm about to say is taking that into consideration. All right. So last night, somebody put up a post in a mostly male, mostly black male group, um, on Facebook, and the post was a caption of somebody's. I believe it was a Twitter, maybe it was like a Twitter post or something like that. And the guy was talking about the concept of protecting a man's public image via, vague or non-obvious means, especially when a woman is out with her man. Like one of those things not mentioned in the post. One of those things is, a woman will look to protect her man simply by conducting herself in a polite and uh, and modest manner. She'll do that um, to protect him, because if she's overly rude to people in the street, especially men, she puts him at risk, because you know when women are rude, especially in the presence of their male counterpart, when she's rude, he is the one that has to take on the physical risk, um, because the vast majority of men will not respond with physical violence to a woman's words, but they will respond to the man that she's with for her words with physical violence. So a woman is going to be polite to other people in part to protect the men that are around her, her brother, her father, her man, whatever. Another non-obvious way, but that actually was mentioned in the post, is the concept of who pays in public situations. Now, the men that I talk to, and um, the men that I talk to that I know, they don't care either way, because whether she pays or he pays, it really does not matter to him. But there are women out there that understand that they don't want to harm the public image of the man that they're with, brother, father, husband, boyfriend, jump off, whatever, right? So what she'll do is, in a situation where uh, the money is on her side but not on his side, she'll do something to make it appear that the money is not coming from her, but instead is coming from him to protect his public image. Now, we all know that, there are homosexuals out there. I was one at one point. I was a fucking bum at one point. So I understand it from both sides, right? But there are many other situations where a woman might have um, a woman might have access to money, but the man might not. But it is not because he's a broke bum. Um, there's some sort of issue going on there, right? So, um, so I, was basically saying it's really an issue about protecting the male image, and in this case, it was more of the black male image, because we already got people trying to tear black men down, and we don't need more of, oh look, he's broke and blah blah blah. So I gave an example of this, a recent example. As you guys know, this very car that I'm driving right now, I had to go into the shop with it because a pebble got stuck in the brake housing, and it was making this really bad screeching sound. And I had only had the car for about what, a month, and I was already in the shop. This is the first time I ever had to call roadside assistance. Now, when we left, we went to go do some food shopping, and um, we go to do this food shopping, and so the mask mandates are over. And me personally, I don't really carry cash because everything I do can be paid for with um, everything can be paid for with either metal or plastic, because I have two metal credit cards. I have the Apple card and I have an Amex Platinum. So I have plastic credit cards as well from my bank or whatever. And is that a Supra? No, actually, this is the Supra's cousin. This is the BMW Z4 M40i, which is actually everything in the Supra is all BMW except for the shell and the infotainment system and the interior. Um, but all the mechanical underpinnings are BMW in the Supra. But anyway, back to the story. So I ended up, with a pebble in the brake housing, my first time ever needing roadside assistance, right? So, BMW, what they have in their roadside assistance is, they'll call a tow for you, and, they're also calling Uber for you, so that you can, get home, because obviously if you're being towed, that means you don't have a car to drive, and you probably need a place, to go. So they'll, take you, where you need to go. And, um, 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 thank you, Biddy Tong. They'll take you where you need to go. Right now, um, they call the Uber for you. They tell the Uber driver what your name is, but since it's not you calling the Uber, you don't have the option of tipping the driver. You don't have that option because you didn't call it. It's not under your account. So also, I was worried that I was not going to be allowed to ride in the Uber because I didn't bring a mask with me. Here in New York City, the Uber still require that you wear a mask in the car. But I'm triple vaccinated and all of that stuff. So I had to basically ask the driver, if he would waive the requirement, because I was not expecting to have to take an Uber. I came out in my own car. And the driver was cool with that. Now, I never carry cash. I've only got plastic. Normally, I would be able to charge the tip to the driver. I would be able to charge that on my card. But since I'm not the one that called the Uber, I could not give a tip except via cash. I never carry cash. So what did that mean? In this situation, that meant that the lady who had cash, we wanted to make sure the guy got tipped. So what my lady did was she could have very well just passed him the money, but she didn't do that. What she did was she passed me the money out of his eye view for me to then hand him the tip. Right? Why is that relevant? Because there is an unspoken understanding among people that when a woman pays in the presence of a man, that is a demerit on him. Now, we give the guy a $10 tip on a ride that might have only been like $10 or $15. We're heavy, I'm a heavy tipper. When she passed me the money, I immediately got out my phone and then texted her back the money that she paid for the tip. Right? Because, I wanted the tip to still come from me, but she felt the need to protect my public image because she cares about, not only does she care about me, but she also knows that her public image is tied to the perception of the man that she's with. She knows this. She understands this concept. I made sure that she understood this concept. Right? Playing for the appearances is not fun. I don't really like it. Okay. I don't really like it. But as a black man in America, I know that any little thing could be used against me to make me out to be less than who I am. Right. So, she hands me the 10. I hand him the 10. And then I give her back the 10 immediately. Right. So I explained this, I said, there's so many reasons why she could pay, but he's not, that we're unaware of. But we know that 100% of the time, the sentiment is going to be against him, no matter what the reason is, because people like to judge people they don't know. Like, random lonely chicks on Facebook want to judge men that they can never get. So the response was, because I also kind of let it be known that I've got more than one woman. So when a lonely black chick sees a black man that is not struggling for female attention at all and doesn't care about her, she's already triggered. But then, when you make it clear that you're not broke, she wants to fashion the narrative to make it look like I'm broke so she could feel better about her bed being cold at night. So, she's on this bullshit. Oh, there's so much to unpack here, and but I'm not gonna do it for free. So, maybe you want to tip. Maybe you want to, text me. You want to Apple Cash me the money to talk about it. See, she understood what the fuck I was saying. She understood what that was. And I said, well, if you don't really have anything constructive to add to the conversation, then why say anything at all? But the thing is, sign language, shame, insults, guilt, the need to be right. Now, she's flat out wrong and she knows she's wrong. She knows she's incorrect. She knows she doesn't have the leg to stand on. But she can't let it go. She can't let it go. She must make it as if I am less than her to justify why she's going to die alone. Oh, none of these black men are worth nothing. They're all dusty. She called me dusty. And I'm thinking, I'm getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and my valet is going to ask me which one of my luxury vehicles am I picking up. But I'm the dusty one. To me, that was hilarious, right? But for her, um, she needed to go there. Um, uh, she needed to go there because she has nothing else to stand on. She doesn't have anything to offer a man because I looked at her profile picture and I can see that she's overweight. You can already see it. She's very skilled when it comes to using sign language. So I know she can't keep a man. So, I'm thinking about all of this and I really want to go in. Like, I want to go in. But I'm like, you know what? I don't know this woman. I don't know what kind of day she's been having. I'm not going to go in, but I'm going to just try to leave it at, you want to keep calling me Dusty. I said what I said, common lonely chick shit, right? And I said, I hope, she ignored all of the pertinent information that was given to try to push a narrative that's just false. I made my sentiments very clear. Oh, really? Well, I hope that approach works for you long term. And I hope that, because me and mine, we're doing very, very well. And I hope that, things are going well with you and your husband. Oh, 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 is that deep for you? Is is that deep for you? You still dusty though. But my life is better than yours. My quality of life is markedly and obviously better than yours. In part because I don't have to deal with the likes of you. And I think about it all the time because I really do want to date a black woman. I try all the time, but it's very difficult for two reasons. One, um, many of them have like this inflated sense of self-worth. So they look at being with a non-monogamous man as like this, horrible thing that devalues them as a person. Now, I don't judge them for that because we do live in a society that prioritizes and lauds sexual exclusivity as a means to show that this woman's value is this. If you can get a man that can, if you can get a man that will at least pretend to not be sexually interested in other women, then that means that you must have more value as a woman. So I get that. I'm not judging her for that. Um, but the other part being that she just doesn't. She's got a nasty attitude. That's just the other part, right? So I don't have to deal with her. Um, oh yeah, so the whole thing. A lot of them are not going to put up with non-monogamy. That's fine. I don't judge them for that. But another reason why I struggle is because of the nasty attitude, and I'm just not going to put up with it from anybody. I don't take that shit off of anybody. So it's there are very good black women out there, but they're not with the non-monogamy thing. All right, cool. I'm fine. Like, I don't judge them for that. But even the ones that may be amenable to it, there's always some nasty ass attitude that is just I don't need you. So if I don't need you, I'm not going to put up with your attitude. And I think that more men, black men in particular, need to understand that you don't need to put up with a lot of garbage just to get the company of a woman or to gain sexual access. You would do much better to just leave them alone and then free yourself up to meet somebody that will treat you the way that you deserve to be treated. And I would say the same thing to women as well. You don't have to accept a man that is not going to give you the experience that you're looking for. You don't have to put up with that. You can wait until you find, somebody else that can give you the experience that you seek. And a lot of women do that. Sometimes they wait too long, but that's a different conversation. Um, but um, um, when you see lonely single women, this also applies to more and more white women as well, because they are also exhibiting a lot of these hostile. They're exhibiting a lot more of these hostile. I'm going to make sure I don't hit a bicyclist. They're exhibiting more of these hostile um, attributes that black women are stereotyped for. But when it comes to the modern woman in general, you can tell why the women who are married, you can see why they are married, and the women who are single, you can see why they're single. And a lot of it has to do with their attitude. Sometimes it has to do with their level of physical fitness, as is in this case, because I did take a sneak peek at the bio, and she's overweight. But you can, the thing is that when you get into these discussions, you can try to be cordial, but they'll try to pull you out of yourself, because that's the only way that they can function, is in extreme and acrimonious conflict. But the only thing that you have to do is just, hey, there's a previous generation Z4, very nice, hardtop. The only thing you have to do is just say, hey, I would love to hear what your husband has to say about it. And that should end the conversation, because many times these chicks are lonely. And the funny thing is, the last reply I got was in the 2 a.m. hour. What woman who is not lonely is up at 2 o'clock in the morning trying to get the last word on somebody that they could never get in a million years? Who's doing that? There's a lot of women I can't get, but there is a class of women that could never get me, and she's definitely in that class. Anyway, I'm dropping off. Um, wife the Mercedes this morning. I wanted to take the Mercedes this morning, but she took the Mercedes. She is volunteering, I guess, giving out bibs for the Brooklyn Marathon, because she's physically fit, and she runs marathons. She doesn't run her mouth on the internet. Anyway, thank you very much, y'all. You're going to be seeing a TSP featuring the first lady of the house with me. Not a TSP, but an episode video talking on this subject on TSP. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, I'm up out of here. Peace.